Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Hello, and welcome back to a Time for Truth show. Hola y bienvenidos de nuevo al Tiempo para la Verdad. Este show vamos a repasar el estrés y la frustración que ha ocurrido en este año. Today in our show, we're going to be covering the tremendous stress and frustration that we've all encountered in this past year of having what we considered our normal everyday life disappear and vanish before our eyes, imploding. A time where we've lost many friends and family. Globally, we've seen increased corruption. We've seen money schemes, scams, leading to loss of trust, integrity. Skepticism has developed as what's happened in the world causes us to separate and individuate at a time really where our local communities need our participation in those entities more than ever. Commercial entities, local businesses, and governmental institutions have floundered during this stressful time of social distancing. Economies have faltered. Debt has increased greatly. Deficit spending. Nationwide, we've experienced staff shortages and difficulties due to these tremendous environmental stresses. But what if we had an idea, a way of seeing what we as individuals each aspire to, what we need? What is the source really of when we fail? If we had that, and we generally understood how individuals best function, then we would have tremendously powerful groups. What if we had a way to address the problems of how we interact, how we cooperate with each other? Not an administrative gimmick, no. Not an authoritarian decree like a king or an emperor, no. Those don't work. But what if we had a uniquely compassionate view of groups as individuals, where we united in a common purpose? What if we could achieve our dreams and discover an administrative know-how, a way of making right choices and succeeding and flourishing and prospering? Well, today's show is going to avail you of that opportunity. El show de hoy va a poner esa oportunidad disponible a ustedes. In today's show, I'm very honored to have a very important man, Dr. Winteregg, a global entrepreneur and humanitarian. Greg was raised in a family-owned restaurant in a small farm town in Indiana and achieved valuable training from his dad. He graduated from dental school in 1981, and amazingly enough, in 12 short years by 1993, had created a dental practice that ranked in the top 4% of all the practices in the United States of America, semi-retiring at the age of 38. He then became a partner at what is now the largest dental practice management company in North America, with clients in the 48 states and half the provinces in Canada. Now, Greg is semi-retired from that company and has started an innovative Matterhorn business development with two of his children, Abby and Neil. Matterhorn is a small to medium-sized business mentoring company with emphasis on achieving growth and profitability. Greg is also the founder and the CEO of a nonprofit, the Private Dentist Alliance, where he is helping dentists preserve and protect the private practice of dentistry from corporate takeover. He is also, and most importantly, a man who uniquely and realistically and compassionately spends his life helping his fellow man, and in doing so has achieved many statuses and honors in his activities all over the globe. And it's our great pleasure and honor to welcome Dr. Greg Winteregg on the show. Engineer, let's welcome Dr. Winteregg. Here we go. How are you?
All right. I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Dr. Fialkov.
You know what? You're an amazing man.
Thank you. You know, I just turned 65 years old, and I'm working just as hard as I did when I was 35, because my work is more fun than what other people call play. So I help people. It is my goal and my objective to teach people how to have a better life, teach people how to have a better business, profitable business, a more successful business, so that not just the owner does better, but so all the employees do better, all the customers, all the patients, everyone who's associated with that business is more successful. And I have a personal motto: if you know me, you win. And that is my game that I play these days. It is much more fun than golfing. It's much more fun than fishing. It's much more fun than sleeping until noon and doing nothing the rest of the day. So I'm very honored that you thought enough of me to ask me to be on the show tonight. And all of your listeners and watchers, we have the opportunity to help.
Well, you know what? It's our pleasure to have you here in New York City, the biggest city or the greatest city in the world, and to welcome you to New York City. And, you know, one of the things I know the viewers are going to really want to know is a little bit, because I know you're a family man and you have kids. How many kids do you have?
I have three.
3 kids. And you've been happily married, I know, for many, many years. And so...
in July, it'll be 41 years.
Yeah, and we should mention her name if you and I are not getting in trouble. And her name is?
Sandra.
Sandra. Okay, Sandra,
Yes.
Thank you for lending us Greg for tonight. And so what I wanted to ask you is, please share with the viewers, how is it that you took this practice and brought it up to the top 4% of the country? Please share that with us.
Well, you know, it's very interesting. I graduated from dental school in the top 5 in my class in the clinic. Like with my hands, I was blessed by God with this talent, almost like I had done it before. So the dentistry itself was very easy. The business of dentistry was very difficult. I had trouble with hiring. I had trouble with managing the practice. And between 1981 and 1992, I had 6 different consultants These are people that came into the practice, would be there regularly, and I paid $60,000 for consulting in the 80s. Today, I'm sure that's $150,000 or more. It was a lot of money. So it was not the dentistry that was giving me problems. It was running the business that gave me problems. And so I think as a business owner, I'm just normal in that regard with these problems. So if somebody starts a restaurant, they feel like they can make a great pizza, or they feel like they can make a great hamburger. And their hamburger may be the best hamburger in town. But if they don't know how to manage, they don't know how to hire, they don't know what statistics to keep track of, then that restaurant could fail. So by the spring of 1992, I was struggling. I'd been in practice for 11 years. I continued to expand my skills as a dentist, but that was not leading to a more successful practice. And I kept looking for someone who had the answers. And I found a company in Chicago that taught the L. Ron Hubbard Management System. And the Hubbard Management System is taught at the Hubbard College of Administration in Hollywood. This company called MGE out of Chicago had all the courses for me to do from the Hubbard Management System. And in a very short period of time, 12 months, I did courses on hiring, organization, marketing, profitability, and basically what I was able to do in just 12 months was double the practice. I was able to bring on an associate. I trained up an office manager on the exact same system. And within 12 months, I was able to start working 20 hours a week and personally take home more money than I had ever made working 40 hours a week. And it sounds like too good to be true.
Exactly.
The L. Ron Hubbard Management System is a technology. And it is a technology as precise as turning on my cell phone. And if I go to turn on my cell phone and it doesn't turn on, it's not because it's Christmas break. It's not because it's spring vacation. It's not because it's raining outside. It's because there's something wrong with the technology on my phone. So the first thing I do is I plug it in to make sure it's charged. And then if that doesn't work, I turn it off and I turn it back. And so you start going through this checklist. If the technology isn't working, then there has to be something else. So the L. Ron Hubbard Management System is a technology as precise as the technology that turns the cell phone on and off and allows me to call all around the world. And so once I was able to find this technology and apply it, all of a sudden my life became easy. All of a sudden I knew what to do. If the statistics were going down, I knew what to do. If the statistics were going up, then I knew what to do to keep them going up. And so in a very short period of time, I was able to take a business that was level or even contracting, because in 1992 there was a recession. Bill Clinton had just been elected. He took over from George Bush the first. The economy was going down. The strip mall that I was practicing in had emptied out. We lost our anchor store, which was a family grocery store that had been sold and moved out. And there was absolutely no reason for within 12 months to me to have a practice in the top 4% of all practices in the country. But honestly, it was too simple. Now, did it take hard work? Absolutely. Absolutely, it took hard work. I did a lot of studying on this management technology, and then I had to go back and apply it, and I had to have staff meetings, And I really had to work. And the graph that is on the screen right there is exactly the way my statistics looked. They had been struggling, and then they took up, they leveled off in a brand new high range, so much so that within 12 months, I actually started looking for a second location, because all of a sudden I had figured out the game and I had a formula on how to continuously expand.
You know what? It's amazing also that in a period similar to now, because, you know, there's tremendous stress, a lot of business failures. I have a lot of friends who are looking for ways of improving or really just surviving. I know some people just want to just mere survival. Your story is unbelievable. You know, there's a video that you sent that's very interesting. I was watching it. I found it really uplifting, and it gives the actual website of what you talk about. So I want to provide that for the viewers. Engineer, please put on Dr. Winteregg's video, please. Well, you know, all I can say, Dr. Winteregg, is wow. You know, I was watching this and I was getting little goosebumps and tingling, and I'm sure the viewers out there are really going to look into this because it's just amazing. So I want to make sure we mention that again. So it's wise.org. Is that correct?
That's correct. Absolutely. Yep.
Wise.org. So wise.org, and you can avail yourself of this technology. And I love that quote about the dreams. So you actually found that in your own practice then?
Absolutely. And so I always had the dream, I always had the vision, but I never had the system and the knowledge. The Hubbard Management Technology is about knowledge. And I'm not afraid to admit I was not the best student, but this is so simple. L. Ron Hubbard was an engineer, and he had the unique ability to make something very complicated very simple. And so I learned simple things, and I just went back and applied it to my business. These are business basics of marketing, of selling, of organizing, of hiring. And actually, You know what I learned that really changed everything for me is 20% of the population is trouble.
Uh-huh.
And I never really had this view that 20% of the new patients that came in the door, actually, I should not be treating. Because I'm in a little farm town of 10,000. There weren't a lot of people. And so I had the idea that every patient came in, I needed to hang on to them. And there's incredible technology where Mr. Hubbard gives 12 characteristics of the 20% of the population that causes trouble. And I actually found, of my 6 staff, one of those people was one of those troublemakers. And so, unfortunately, I had to dismiss someone. But what's amazing is with temporary help, I did 25% better in 1 month than I ever did before. And if there's one piece of the technology that I can say made a tremendous difference for me, is that I had to understand that not everybody wants me to win. And Mr. Hubbard, in his genius, lays out 12 characteristics of how to identify those who are going to cause trouble. And I can say if there's any one particular thing that made the biggest difference for me, it was being able to spot the 20% troublemakers and then just not allow them into my company, whether they were working for me or they were patients who were coming in.
You know what, to me, as you're talking, I was thinking about the community and the governments, because that 20% that you're talking about would be everywhere, right?
That's right. And you know, another interesting thing is I was United Way Drive chairman in my community, and we had not made our United Way Drive goal for 3 years. And I was to be the drive chairman, and so I had a particular strategy that I was going to implement. And there was one person on the board of directors that disagreed with me and tried to get me to change my mind. And I'm like, no, this is my plan. This is the direction I'm going. And he'd actually been on the board longer than me. I said, this is my drive and this is how I'm doing it. He quit the board. And interestingly enough, Dr. Fialkoff, we exceeded our goal for the first time in 4 years.
Wow.
So I started to be able then to identify who I play my games with. And so that's when I adopted the policy, if you know me, you win. And guess what? If you're a person that's going to cause trouble, if you're a person that cannot win, if you're a person that's going to try and make sure that I lose, then guess what? You cannot know me.
What? We're running out of time on the show. I want to invite you back. Will you come again?
I would love to come back. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sure the viewers had a great time. And you know what? So when you're out there, apply what Dr. Winteregg shared with us. And may you have a whole different life from here on forward. Check it out. Have a very good night.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet